Sacramento, California. Tonight, ESPN 2 The Deuce presents the RHI tonight. The San Jose Rhinos take on the Sacramento River Rats. In goal for the visiting Rhinos, Joe Bonvie, all 6-3 of them from Wareham, Massachusetts. He's got a 7-6 record, a 6.30 goals against average, and he's saving over 83% of his shots against. Manon Marion, the only female in the RHI, in goal for the River Rats with a record of 1-0. The lone victory in her lone start against San Diego this year. Tonight's Zebras, Tom Cowell is the referee. Casey Jorgensen, Alex Brown are the linesmen. Glad you could join us from Sacramento, California. This is Dave Ryan alongside Jim Fox, and we're set for a Roller Hockey International from Arco Arena. Couple of teams that really don't like each other too much. We'll talk more about that, Jim Fox. A little rivalry building up between these sides. Joe Bonvie back in goal, getting an early test. He did not play in last night's victory over Anaheim. Mark Wolf across the red line, early shot on goal, can't quite squeeze it. Chris Valasevic got a piece, and Wolf will go back toward the center of the floor. Near reception made by Jerry St. Cyr. Valasevic fires off a shot. That one wide of Joe Bonvie to his right. Mike Vitucci tries to keep that alive. Valasevic is the end, fires toward the goal, deflected away from Joe Bonvie. Michael Taylor tries to chase that one down in the corner. And early on, Sacramento applying a lot of pressure. Chris Valasevic would move around Mark Wolf, but causes the intercept. That's going to be an offside.
You don't see that offside too much in roller hockey. We get one early. Sacramento trying to go with a forecheck. The head coach tonight for the San Jose Rhinos, Mike Moore, and he's normally a player, but Roy Summer, the normal head coach of the Rhinos, has some personal business to deal with tonight, so he's not here. As you can pick up in the background, we have Mike, the coaches tonight. The head coach for the River Rats of Sacramento, John Black, his fourth season in Royal Hockey International. The last two with Sacramento. 3 years ago, he took Portland all the way to the finals.
And did so with the LA Blades as well a year before that. So he has a lot of success in the past. One player hitting the floor already early on for San Jose. Not to confuse folks too much, for the Rhinos in their visiting whites, so to speak, their road jerseys were stolen at an airport. So they've got to wear the whites indefinitely. And that's why you see the jersey switch. Sacramento in the dark green at home on their home floor tonight. River Rats applying most of the pressure early on this game so far, and an early whistle. Delay penalty is going to be coming up. A touch-up made while the first 90-second penalty coming up, only go 1:30 on minor penalties in the RHI.
And a good look at Manon Marion. Dave told us the only female currently in Roller Hockey International, of course, playing in goal. There are the numbers. Her win this year over San Diego. But right now, she's going to have to face the power play again. It's like Vadim Slivchenko of the River Rats goes to the penalty box. So the first power play of the night goes to San Jose. And Dave, you were calling it correctly. Sacramento on the forecheck for the start of this game. It's still early, but Sacramento loves to do that. They want to play as much of the game possible, obviously, in the offensive zone. They did a pretty good job forechecking, but getting a little too rough. Slivchenko goes to the box, roughing the call, and the Rhinos on the power play.
So a 1:30 power play, a little bit different than the ice hockey game. And we'll see early on if San Jose can take advantage. Sacramento, the third worst team in the RHI, killing power plays, the worst there is in terms of scoring. And early on, good opportunity for San Jose. Clayton Young, who has lit the lamp a few times this year, right on the doorstep. Good chance for Jay Murphy. But a nice play by Manon Marion early on.
Dave, right now the Rhinos going down low with the shots, but they can move it around. So many looks on the power play.
Wolf, good feed. That one over the net, though, from Darren Colburn. Colburn and Wolf on the power play together, normally on different lines. But these guys are two players to watch. Head coach John Black talking about precision passing. Amazing players out there. Murphy feeds, goal, Clayton Young. The first goal of the game. Clayton Young right on the doorstep, and not much Manon Marion can do about that one.
Dave, I think you were talking about John Black preparing for this power play. Well, the penalty killers are leaving everything alone down low. The only man back, it was a 2-on-1 setup. The lone defender, lower left of your screen, you'll see him right there. Chris Valasevic, and really he goes down to block the shot. Since he doesn't get it, the pass is right onto the stick of Clayton Young. You're right, you cannot blame the goaltender. If possible, Riom can try and get out there and block the pass. But believe me, the penalty killers look like they're up top, taking away the plays from Mark Wolf and Darren Colburn, the two best power play guys for San Jose. But the Rhinos, a little patient there, moving around. They lead 1-0.
So the goal from Young, his 13th of the season, came in with 12 goals and 21 assists for 33 points. Had an assist in last night's big 8-6 win over Anaheim. Ties are even. Lubchenko out of the box. And one more time, Darren Colburn leads the break for San Jose. Good fake, then a shot goes wide of Rayon. Went between the legs, thinking about a pass. Instead, took the shot himself. Martin Duval on defense getting some floor time for Sacramento. One of the best skaters this team has, but has not seen a lot of action so far this season. Riverax trying to score that one. Now they go for Sacramento right on the doorstep. They tied this game up. Go for Jani Seva from Finland, 6'3", 205 forward, gets his 8th of the year.
And Seva picking up a rebound. Now, Joe Bonvi's an all-star goaltender, but at times he gets a little too aggressive. We'll see it right here. Watch Bonvi, the goaltender, come out a little too far here to face the first shot, and he kind of sprawls on the play. There's a sprawl on the band angle shot. The rebound's right there in the middle, and Seva goes right to the top. Nice pass right there. And again, Bonvi had to sprawl to make a save on an easy backhand out of position right there. So the goaltender may be a little over-aggressive. I think that's the one knock against Joe Bonvi, but he's very big. He takes up a lot of the net. And Jani Seva, coming over from Finland this year, expected to provide a lot of offense. And there's a look at the River Rat mascot. And after every goal here in Sacramento, much like in Florida, the Rats come pouring down on the floor. They did a pretty good job there, though. Cleaned it off very quickly. San Jose scored first, but Sacramento comes right back to tie it up.
That time at 23.2 seconds. Excellent job in getting the Rats off the floor. That was quick. Dmitry Odin, Sergei Olimpiev involved in the assists. 2:53. Jani Seva gets the goal to tie this one up at 1 apiece. 9 minutes left in the first period.
Dave, we were both talking to Darren Colburn before the game, and he mentioned one of the big keys tonight for San Jose, get in front early. Well, obviously they scored first, but coming right back, that momentum stopper by Sacramento. I think San Jose feels they can play a physical game if they get up. They don't worry as much about taking penalties.
Mike Taylor carries in across the red line, hit by Valasevic along the boards. Mark Wolf tries to keep it alive with the San Jose Rhinos, and they know the players told us before this game they're going to be in for a battle. Good matchup between these two teams. Jamie Black starts to run the other way for Sacramento. Chris Valasevic feeding instead of shooting. Back in front. Black scores it. Jamie Black has given Sacramento a 2-1 lead, and here come the Rats onto the floor. Everyone gets involved in chucking those little beasts.
That's right. Real innocent play looking from the start of the attack. Not much directed towards the net. Jamie Black, you'll see him just following up the plays in the middle of your screen. He's going to come back door. And St. Cyr with a pass. I don't think Jerry St. Cyr really actually knew that the pass was going to be on the stick, but it was right there for Jamie Black. Once Black decides to go, you see it right there. He goes all the way as a defenseman. He usually stays at home, but the one-time shot beats Joe Bonvi. So Sacramento coming back with 2 very quick goals. They had their big offensive line on the floor with St. Cyr and Valasevic, and it's the defenseman Black who puts them in front, 2-1.
Chris Valasevic, Jerry St. Cyr, the team's captain, able to get assist at 3:40. It's a 2-1 Sacramento lead. Mike Morin, the acting coach, is a bit concerned, but it is early on. This is RHI, and there'll be a lot of offense in this game. You can bet on that. Leighton Young, who has the goal early on for San Jose. Beating that one back for Colin Foley. Tried to get a shot, but it was deflected before it got toward Manon Rayon. So far, not a lot of tests for Rayon in this game. Lubchenko fires a shot that was broken up before it got to Big Joe Bonvi. In front, Lubchenko there, but broken up first, and could not quite reach his stick, and that one cleared over the red line. Good physical action here involving Colin Foley. And Sergei Stas comes in on the right wing, thought about a shot, couldn't tee that one up. And instead it goes wide to the left of Joe Bonvi.
If one thing the River Rats are doing right here early in the game is finishing every check, it looks like the glass may be broken. Something going on here. Sacramento, they're playing way more physical than San Jose.
We've got a timeout on the floor at Sacramento. 7:33 to go. A 2-1 Sacramento lead. Game of the week, roller hockey action coming up between the Rhinos and the Rats, but due to the length of tonight's game, we move forward to a later point in the ESPN2 RHI Game of the Week from Marco Arena in Sacramento as the Rhinos battle River Rats right after this.
The RHI Game of the Week, and right now it's time for our installment of Rules and Tools, brought to you by Pringles. An interesting and very unique rule in Roller Hockey International. The rule states that a team may dress 3 goaltenders if one of the goaltenders is a female. And obviously, tonight's game, we have the only female currently in Roller Hockey International, Manon Rayon. Another big save, a kick save right there. So Roller Hockey International doing its bit to try and encourage as many females to get involved with the game as possible. And so far tonight, Rhinos on top of her game. She's faced a lot of shots. She's right there. San Jose with 10 shots on goal, only one getting by Manuel Rhinos.
Coming out 3 minutes to go in the first period, 2-1. River Rats have the lead. So far, some momentum. Colburn winds and fires. Rayom again getting a nice piece of that one. Martin Duval chases down in the corner, but it's intercepted by San Jose. That shot not getting toward the goal from Kenny Blum. He, of course, scored that big goal. He got an offside call at center court. Scored the big one against Montreal last year to win the Murphy Cup. As you see, Martin Duval from French Quebec, Canada.
Thank you. See Johnny Black talking to the official right there. You saw that little signal. That's the interference signal. So Johnny Black gets the referee to come over to the bench. So obviously John Black looking for more interference calls out there right now. Mike Morin, the interim head coach right now for San Jose.
We were all set for Mike to play in this game. I've got his stats written down and everything.
That's right.
From Melville, Saskatchewan. Mike Morin, first game as a coach. Didn't appear too nervous, though. We were talking to the locker room beforehand. Mark Wolf keeps in the offensive zone. Bad pass, though, intended for Mike Matucci, but he chases down on the far side. 2.5 to go in the first quarter. The Eagles clear is waved off. Sacramento able to chase it down in their own defensive zone, and they'll try to clear it out. Levchenko is on the floor. Giveaway in front. Shot that one saved again by Rayom on Alex Schuler. Blast to the point by Mike Matucci, also sticked aside by Rayom, and she has come up big so far. Great save a moment ago.
Quick footwork so far, post to post, but that time, quick handwork by Rayom. The blocker coming out of nowhere to make the save. Again, she doesn't have big size, so she doesn't cover a lot of net, but with the quickness, she's making the stop.
San Jose, 13 shots. Fantastic backhander right on net. Joe Bonvie having to go down on his knees and squeeze that one.
A lot of pressure right now on Bonvie because he has to hold his team in right now. Although he's not getting a lot of action, you have to come up big. And again, the story of tonight's game, there's no doubt about it. Manuel Rayom stopping everything. Schuler breaks in all alone. He gets hooked, and there's the blocker. Rayom playing deep in her net, so she's not really challenging right now, but she looks very confident. And I think the team certainly is going to build on that. They're going to pick up on it, get right behind her. Bonvie, as I mentioned, he's not facing a lot of shots, but that puts way more pressure every shot that comes in. His team only trailing by one.
St. Cyr and Jay Murphy take the draw. Face-off circle to the right of goaltender Joe Bonvie with 1:45 to go in the first quarter. Arjun Fox will head down to the sideline and be right in the middle of the action for the second period. Here from Arco Arena in Sacramento, California. It's 2-1. River Rats lead on the defending Murphy Cup champs. Jamie Black has one of the two goals. Back in his own end, trying to flick that one up. Kind of lost a lot of momentum and motion on that one. Paul Pakovich there as well, trying to help out number 7 on defense. Jerry St. Cyr is open. Here's a 2-on-1. Valasevic there. Feed, and it was broken up. Good recovery defense. Foley was back to make a nice play. Gary Goulas will try to clear, and Wolf has his bell rung at Foley right at midcourt. That was something. Jamie Black with a big-time hit. St. Cyr keeps in. Gary Goulas puts a little wood on him as well, and it comes out towards center court. Jay Murphy loses his helmet as he tries to get a slap shot off, and a penalty is coming up. Paul Pakovich was there. We'll see who they whistle with 48 ticks to go. Roughing call upcoming on the River Rats.
Looks like the River Rats will go to the box. Before the game, the Rhinos were concerned about taking too many penalties, but once again, the player from Sacramento goes off with one of those roughing calls, and it'll be Pakovich. I think Pakovich just working very hard to get back on the back check. But the physical play has been determined by Sacramento, and that is a big surprise. San Jose felt, okay, they needed to get a lead. They got that. They're only trailing by one. Again, San Jose was the most penalized team in the league last year. They went on to win the championship. They feel that if they can get up in a game, yeah, they can take a few penalties that won't hurt them as much. But you've got to give a lot of credit to Sacramento. They've stuck their nose right in there. The biggest hit so far, you'll see it right there. Jamie Black stepping in to Mark Wolf, and you're very rarely going to catch Mark Wolf with his head down. I guess that tells it right there. You hear in hockey all the time, keep your head up. Wolf was looking down at the puck, and all he got was a shoulder from Jamie Black.
San Jose 1 for 2 so far with a couple shots on the power play. The last time they really peppered Manon Rayon. We have a delay penalty call again and a whistle. Let's see what we have.
I think it's going to be number 9, Clayton Young of San Jose. Undisciplined penalty right there. You remember about 30 seconds? Well, there's John Black. He was asking for interference calls earlier, and that's what happened. It may be a cross-check, the official call, but it was one of the Rhinos. You'll see right off the face-off, the puck is kicked around, and there's the hook. Young is reaching out. Hooking is the official call, but no doubt it was an interference situation. You never, ever want to take a penalty in the offensive zone, especially when you already have the man advantage. You just kind of wait, hold on till you gain possession of the puck. But that time, a little too over-aggressive. We'll have a 3-on-3 skating situation.
Talk about wide open roller hockey. It's what makes this sport so fun to watch. No blue lines, that's the starter. Usually 4-on-4, now a 3-on-3. As Schuler tries to corral that one near the red line. There's a 4-second differential between the two penalties. And we just have 30 seconds to go in the period, so they'll continue in period number 2.
And Sacramento keeping up with the first man pressure on the forecheck. They're sending that first man to make contact, and that's exactly what they're doing.
Jerry Goulash working alongside the boards with Alan Schuler, just trying to freeze the puck and kill off some more time. 15 seconds to go. Sides are even. Wolf. That one tipped and over the glass behind Manon Rayon with 13.4 to go in the first period. 2-1, River Rats have the lead.
You talked about 3-on-3 skating. Every mistake is magnified in that situation. You have to make sure you keep defensive position at all times. Your body has to be on the inside. Another look at the interim head coach, Mike Morin, changing up the lines right here. You can tell he's an interim coach. First game, he's got the lines written down. Don't want to make any mistakes. The 3-on-3 end zone faceoff, 13.4 seconds remaining. First quarter.
Wishing the RHI plenty of time for plenty of action, so stay tuned to the end of the first quarter. Michael Taylor taking the draw against Jamie Black. He scored one of the two for the River Rats. Ticking down, final seconds of quarter number 1 from Arco Arena in Sacramento. Black trying to get ahead of the puck. 2 seconds left. Backhander is through the crease and wide. And that'll do it for our first quarter of action. 12 minutes in the books from Arco Arena in Sacramento. The River Rats have a 2-1 lead on the defending Murphy Cup champs. Welcome back to Arco Arena in Sacramento, California. First quarter stats after 1. It's a 2-1 River Rats lead. Shots on goal so far dominated by San Jose, 13-8. Scoring chances much better for the Rhinos as well, but they've only converted 1 thus far, and they're dominating in face-offs as well. And on power plays, they are 1-4-3. Underway in the second period. Now, there still are penalties to serve. Clayton Young and Paul Pakovich are in their respective penalty boxes at the moment. There's a 4-second differential. That penalty taken a moment ago by Clayton Young.
Dave, I'm down on the bench with John Black. John, I cheated tonight before the game. Looked at the blackboard. You talked about forecheck. Maybe the best example of forechecking I've seen so far this year. Your players right now executing exactly what they saw on the blackboard.
Yeah, we have a pretty good-sized team, and we do much better playing the game in their zone. The line of Olympia and Sev is a perfect example. These guys really bang the bodies and control the game down deep in their zone, and that's our game plan.
I thought San Jose was supposed to be the physical team.
Well, turnabout's fair play.
That's right. It's working so far. Thanks, Coach.
All right, guys. St. Cyr rips a shot on Joe Bonvie that he gobbles up with 11:38 to go in the second quarter. 21 seconds left. Jerry St. Cyr, team captain number 37. He's had a fine season again for this team. 6 foot, 200-pound forward from Vancouver, British Columbia. Leading goal scorer for the River Rats. 10 power play goals as well. And in a 7-4 victory over the Denver Daredevils a couple nights ago here at Arco Arena, he had himself a couple of goals, along with an assist. Second on the team in points for the captain, who is the featured player here at the arena. They're mentioning his name a lot. He's going to be involved in signing autographs after the game as well. Penalty still being served, so the wide-open 3-on-3 continues. Colin Foley brings across the red line for San Jose. Tries the old between the 5-hole move on Valasevic, but Chris does not go for it. Now, Paul Pakovich is out of the penalty box. They had him wide open. St. Cyr in the slot is open. Fires a shot on Bonvie that goes wide to his right. And that one comes again toward the center court area. Foley trying to feed back for his man and cannot find him. Colin Foley, a bad pass to the offensive end. Sacramento comes again. Just over a minute into period number 2. In front of backhander on Bonvie, and that one stopped nicely. Paul Pakovich is denied. Jim Fox.
Dave, I'm down here with Mike Morin. Mike, unusual situation. Normally a player. What's it like? First game as a head coach?
It's just as intense. I'm having fun with it. I'm just trying to keep all the guys going and have a little enthusiasm and have a little fun with it and just try and keep everything in order. That's basically what I'm here and trying to do.
I know coaches usually say the work is done mostly in practice, but do you get a little jittery right here? You know you work hard in practice, but finally getting behind the bench, it's got to be a little different.
Oh, no question. I got a sweat going even, so I'm going about as hard as these guys right now, with my heart anyway.
All right, Mike, good luck.
Thanks.
10:44 to go in the second quarter. And Mike Marin doesn't show up. You can tell he's a little bit nervous down there. Martin Duval trying to grab the puck in front of Manon Rayom, who so far, as Jim Fox has mentioned, has been the big story. 15 shots on goal from San Jose. She's turned aside 14 of those. In the offensive end, the River Rats, that one broken up just in front. Good feed made by Dimitri Rodin, who's getting some time now on the sport court out here. Colburn in the offensive end, rips a shot, Ray on the save, rebound in front, blocked aside, great defense by Sacramento's Martin Duval, who went down to stop that rebound shot. 10:07 and counting to go in the second quarter of play, and Sacramento steadfast with that one-goal lead. Martin Duval and the good defensive effort now working on offense. Yanne Seba has a goal so far. Tries that backhand feed, not successful, but kept alive by Sergei Olympiev. 6'3", over 200 pounds. A big hitter, according to head coach John Black. Seba tries to keep that one in the offensive end, cannot. Ken Blum whacked along the boards, bit feeds wide open. Darren Colburn, one on none. Stop by Bingo Rayom. How do you like that one? Stones, Darren Colburn, the all-star, the team's leading goal scorer. A tremendous save by Manon Rayom in only her second start of the season.
Very
got to be a
composed.
confidence builder.
Sorry, Dave. Very composed there by Rome. Usually with a goaltender one-on-one situation, you have to be patient. You have to make the shooter make the first move, and that's exactly what Rayom did. She waited. Colburn, I think he tried to go between the pads there to make the save, but Rayom, once again, making it look kind of easy.
Confidence has just got to be rising with her, and every save she makes. Darren Weatherhill's shot is wide, kept in though by Mark Wolf along the boards. 4 All-Stars, including goalie Joe Bonvy, playing in the Arrowhead Pond earlier this month. Saw the game on the Deuce on ESPN2's RHI Game of the Week. A thriller won by the West 14-12, despite the fact Long Island Jaw star Tony Szabo had 6 goals in the MVP honors.
Sergei Stas with a pretty good chance on the backhand. Bonvy cutting down the angle back to Manon Rayom. It was a clear-cut breakaway for one of the best scorers in the entire league. Darren Colburn had the breakaway. You see aggressive up the floor, but there's the pass right into the middle. This is breakaway. Once again, Rayom, good technique there. Good fundamentals by Rayom because she had the stick right between the pads. Usually, if there's any space whatsoever, it's tweeners on a goaltender, but you have your stick flat. The blade was flat on the floor. 17 saves so far for Manon Rayom.
Just want to know, as we said, the win against San Diego, 66.7 of the shots she faced. She stopped 21 of the 31. She allowed 10 goals. So we can dare say, unless there's a real avalanche of scoring, that she's going to better that effort. Joe Bonvy going vertical to try to make a pretty nice save as well. Not easy with a 6'3" frame. 8:27 to go in the second. Still a 2-1 game. Very low scoring for the RHI, where teams average 14, 15 goals they can score a game. Remember, the last time these teams met in early July, it was a 5-4 shootout win for San Jose. Taylor winds. That one kicked aside again, and it was behind the Sacramento River Rats goal. They've got the 2-1 lead. Sides again even after a bevy of penalties we had at the end of the first quarter. Jamie Black has one of the 2 goals, trying to feed in front. That one off the side of the net and recovered nicely by Alan Schuler. Mike Matucci will bring across the red line, and here's Taylor with it. Decides not to attack offensively. Thought for a moment that maybe Alan Schuler was going to come in on the left wing, and he was not there. Mark Wolf will track down his own pass. Pokovich trying to make sure he can't get up quickly. That's one thing that players told us before the game, very important thing to do with great players like Colburn and Mark Wolf. Got to stick to your check. Clayton Young has the goal. Nice job by Valastevic, and Pokovich starts to break the other way. Dimitri Rodin will wind. Thought about a shot of fake instead, coming in on Joe Bonvy. A shot there, and Bonvy closed down the angle beautifully. Valastevic still at point. Winds a shot. That one sticked aside into the crowd by Joe Bonvy. Nice save. 7:08 To go here in our first half of play, Manon Rayom, and Sacramento has a 2-1 lead. Safety sprint cars taking to the oval of fastest category of auto racing. And remember, NASCAR racer Jeff Gordon got his start. And the USAC sprint car. Now down to Jim Fox with a special guest.
We're going to take a look at John Gustafson right now with the Rhinos. He's the general manager. But tonight, he's in full equipment. John, MVP last year in the finals. Started the season as GM. You've had some goaltending problems, you know, injuries, things. How's it feel to be back in the equipment?
Well, I'm a little rusty, Jimmy. It's a little bit different this year. I've been very busy working in the front office, but things have been going all right. We had a big win last night. It was exciting for me to get back in there. The fans are great in San Jose, and give me a little lift. Give the guys a little lift. You know, we're a little bit stagnant, but you know, we're starting to play a little better.
What do you think was the most difficult part for you the other night against Anaheim, picking up the win, coming back when you were? You knew you were going to be a little rusty.
Just the pace of the game, you know. You've been sitting behind a desk for 4 months, and all of a sudden you're thrown into a professional sport. It's, you know, it's kind of like riding a bike. It takes, you know, it's going to take a while to get back at it, and it wasn't too bad, but, you know, the guy just played so well in front of me. It's one of those things.
Certainly a story tonight, Manon Rayom in goal for Sacramento. What's the book on her? She's looking pretty good so far.
Oh, she's looking great. She's making a lot of good stops tonight. She's already had 19 saves, and she's a good goalie, you know. Even though she's a female, it doesn't really matter. You know, she's here for a reason. She can play the game. You know, I think it's great for the league, and it's great for Sacramento.
All right, John, thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, guys, Yannis Seva is in the penalty box. He's in for 90 seconds on the hole at 5 minutes of the second quarter. So, again, his team will face a power play, very powerful unit from the San Jose Rhinos, led by Darren Colburn and by Mark Wolf, the 2 ace scorers on this Rhino squad. You see players skate over that red line. As long as the puck is skated across, it's legal. Wolf in, trying to set up. Clayton cannot do it. Colburn a pass or a shot in front. Clayton Young did not pull the trigger. Jay Murphy trying to track that one down along the sideboards with 6.5 to go. We are 30 seconds into the penalty on Yannis Seva. He's out for a hold. Mark Wolf, team's leading scorer, takes across the red line. A 2-on-1 situation. Young pass from Murphy was broken up nicely. Good job on defense from Jerry St. Cyr, team captain. He can do it all. Shoot, play some D, and hit people as well. Don't be fooled by the European finesse label put on the River Rats. Young open, a wide right into the path, though, and a save by Rayon. Comes right out, though. Sacramento trying to play some rather great defense, and Young is denied one more time on the one-timer. River Rats can't clear. Young will pass back for Wolf. Colburn, face-off circle, back to Mark Wolf. These players very dangerous together. Quick feed. Colburn rips a slap shot, saved again by Manon Rayon. Leighton Young loses his edge, and now comes the River Rats with just 5 seconds to go in the penalty, 5.5 to go in the period. St. Cyr carries in and shot, stopped by Bonvy, not a difficult save. Trying to waste more time. Yannis Seva down to the penalty box, sides are even again. Wide from Young, and stopped again by Manon Rayon. Leighton Young is denied, and Rayon comes up big one more time. 5:25 to go. Murphy and the entire San Jose Rhino team has got to be saying, what's up with it?
Well, a lot of coaches will tell you your best penalty killer has to be the goaltender, and Manon Rayom has been all over the place. Very quick. We knew she was going to be quick. There's the long shot by Young, and Rayom actually handles it above Manon Rayom. Here's the quickness and flexibility. You see that one off the post, but then she's across to make sure there's no second chance. That's another thing I think Sacramento's been doing very well tonight. If the first shot comes in, yeah, Manon Rayom is right there to make the save. Really no second chances for San Jose.
Draw one by Sacramento with 5:20 to go in the second quarter. Still a 2-1 game. Jamie Black brings into the offensive end. Good speed right on the stick of Van Kessel. Big J.C. Van Kessel pulled the trigger, but Bonvy comes up with a nice save. Joe Bonvy with a stop there. Ken Blom is tapped down. That is going to go against the Sacramento River Rats. Penalty upcoming. Sergei Stas, a guilty party. There'll be a minute 30 penalty coming up on the River Rats. One more time, they'll be down a man.
Well, a quick chance right here to talk to Chris Valaseva. Chris, I know you're going on the power play. What's going to happen here? Pretty good game. You guys playing very physical, but look, time for a goal now.
Yeah, we need to get a goal here and widen up our margin a little bit. 2-1 is a little bit too close for our own comfort.
so actually we're going on the penalty kill.
I had a little backwards right there. Penalty kill time.
Yeah, it's penalty kill time. We got to get back out there and shut them down. Menno's playing a great game right now, and we're just working hard, and we'll see what happens at the end.
All right, Chris, thanks very much.
All right, gentlemen, Sergei Stas is in the penalty box. He is there for a trip, and he'll be there for the next 90 seconds with 5:01 to go. Here it is. He makes just a hack.
There's
That
Stas.
one on Blum.
Usually what happens, Dave, when you get the puck before you slide through and take the man down, usually the referee, that was kind of coincidental. At the same time the puck was hit by the sweep check of Stas, then his body kind of carried through and took down the driving forward. So a lot of power plays tonight back and forth. Goaltending, very important, obviously, in any game. But again, on that power play, you have to come up big with a big save.
Another power play opportunity for San Jose and Manon Rayon. You saw her a moment ago. Checking the clock, so far just 25% success rate for the defending Murphy Cup champs. 1 of 4 against the story of the night, Manon Rayon. La Beauport, Quebec, Canada. 5 about is what they listed at 125. Head coach John Black. A lot of confidence in Manon, but not knowing what he was going to see tonight, only her second start. And Mike Morin talked about lack of experience. Well, Manon has got that in between the pipes. And Mike Morin, first game as interim coach.
Hey, they're fucking delaying out here.
Morin's team is down with a 2-1 score. Captain Jerry St. Cyr getting things straightened out.
I think the stick, it looks like, yes, St. Cyr's going to change his stick. You can tell how much ice time, I was going to say, 4 time that these guys get. St. Cyr's a scorer, but he's out there also to kill a penalty.
We are ready to hit the links on ESPN. The Senior British Open is coming up Thursday and Friday, July 25th and 26th, 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. on the left coast. Former champions include Tom Wargo from 1994, lefty Bob Charles, 89 and 93, and Gary Player as well. 4:56 to go in this one. Jerry St. Cyr has his new lumber, and he's ready to go. That one cleared over the red line. That is a illegal clear, if you will, with a team down a man. Still $1:15 to go in the penalty. On the trip call against Yanni Sebo. Wolf takes in. Big rip slap shot is wide. They've not been hitting the net on a lot of the big-time slap shots, and that's been their strong point. They're very accurate with the shot. The other way, here comes Sacramento. The net goes off its moorings before a shot can be put on by Ignatiev. And we will get our ruling with 4:28 to go. Victor Ignatiev at 6'2", 200 pounds.
You see Darren Colburn get caught right there. He went for the puck. You got to get the puck or the man. He missed both. You'll see what happens here, Bonvie. You see him reach out with his right skate. He kicked the post off the goal line. The nets are not moored to the floor in roller hockey. They can't be. It's very difficult to stop. It would become too dangerous. And that time, he spread out to make the save, knocked the net off, and that's the reason for the whistle.
That is back on its moorings now. Joe Bonvie, as we said, the 96 All-Star, played the COHL on ice in 95-96. Madison, Wisconsin. Got a lot of action. It was 14 and 15. That's a lot of decisions for one goalie in one season. Pro hockey level. 4:15 to count and go in the first half. Still a very low-scoring 2-1 game. Sacramento, a bit of surprise, has the lead. Jamie Black has one of those goals. Has Chris Valasevic shooting with him. One-time play, and Bonvie may have got a piece that goes through the crease and coming the other way again. Jay Murphy, a chance for a one-on-none. Ignatiev with a nice recovery. Murphy tries to wrap around and a feed attempt. And it was broken up before it could get to the San Jose Rhino, intended on that pass, Clayton Young in the offensive end. Mark Wolf around one player in front, still with a power play. 10 seconds to go with a man up. 3:41 to go in the quarter. Colburn shot sticks aside again. Manon Rayon may have gotten a piece of that one. Just 2 seconds left in the penalty. Sergei Stas will come off. Clayton Young a feed in front. Colburn tries to jam it in. Manon Rayon able to gobble it up again. 3:27 to go in the first half. Darren Colburn's team down.
On the bench with Gary Goulash of the San Jose Rhinos. And Gary, it's only 2-1 right now. Earlier this year, you had an 11-10 game against this team. Are you surprised by the defense playing so far?
The defense, we've always had strong defense, last year and starting at this year. That was a game where we came in and we thought we could take it easy and it'd be a walkover. They came out, it was 7-0. We came back to make it a close game, but it's 2-1 and we're right in this game, and it's these two points are very important for us, and we're just going to keep battling here, and hopefully Joel's been playing well. He'll keep us in there, and we'll bury a few here.
Are you looking to change anything at all? Again, you're only behind by 1. Not much wrong going for either team, but you're looking to change something, maybe to get more offense?
No, we just got to keep pressure on them from coming out. We got to send 2 guys hard and hopefully get a couple turnovers, and she's been playing well, and we got to get to her here so we can break the ice here and just keep going.
Thanks, Gary.
Gary Goulash, team leader in penalty minutes so far this year with 75. In fact, San Jose by far leads the RHI in that category. 555 penalty minutes amassed by these guys. They like to play rough and